Yo, what's good everybody, and welcome back to the TheStankCast episode 10, hosted by myself and Craig Cowie. Now on today's episode we've actually got a star of TikTok. With 1.5 million followers, he truly believes in his goal to clean up the planet. The infamous EarthDrop takes us on this journey from creating a mental health safe space to amassing 1.5 million followers on TikTok, and how this has changed his life. We end up having a right laugh throughout and go off on as many tangents as you like. We hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. The story just became a lot more unbelievable.
Joke's on you, I've got on-street parking. It's that was old Volvo. I had the one that I spray painted with like the Joker and stuff on it.
Because you used to be quite a motorhead, didn't you?
Mate, I love that. I still love cars.
You still love motors?
It's a real, like, me and Jodie have had this discussion. It really bothers me a wee bit, because I watch videos on TikTok folk doing like burnouts and like V12 like Lambos doing like flame spitting like takeoffs and stuff, and I love it. But at the same time, like I can't now go and do that. You know what I mean? Like my car's a 1.6. At one point, I mean, I didn't have exhaust on half my cars. Like you're aware, I snapped the exhaust off. Yeah, and it sounded funny. Like I ran like horrible cars, burnouts like all the time. Like it's just wild.
So it's a massive contradiction to what you're doing now.
That's what you've always said to me. Like you always said, like even if like you were somebody that had like a lot of money, like you couldn't have like nice cars like that because then it would be difficult because the contradiction of.
And I would want, this is a problem.
Yeah, you
if
would
I
want
ever
them,
made loads of money, like there would be a bunch of cars that I've always wanted, like Mustangs and stuff.
You can have them, not use them. Or you could have them and use them as track cars.
My idea would be, if I was ever to get to the point where I could go and buy cars I wanted, it'd be a case of buying these cars for the most part just to look at. You know what I mean? Like, and it would be difficult.
You could even buy them, look at them, not drive them.
If you're not buying a car brand new, then you're not contributing to them being made. You know what I mean? Like it's somebody else's like second-hand car. It's a different story. But I mean, I would build a car. Like I'd build a little one.
In the future, if you'd have a lot of money, most cars will be electric by then anyway.
I don't think I'll go electric.
Nah,
I don't think electric cars will take.
I don't think the grid can handle it. The grid can't handle 100% electric cars.
But I think they'll build electric roads. I think they'll build roads specifically built to charge electric cars.
The problem with electric is more electric means you need more batteries. More batteries means you need more lithium, and lithium's horrible. You want to see his mines, man. You want the state of the earth. Like honestly, like see the materials they're taking to make these batteries. Like,
can you make it out of anything else? Can you make them out
hydrogen is what you need. You need to hydrogen
cell cars. Now, I don't know. This is the next thing. Which
that's like that is the way of like what's it? What would you say? It's like the most safely sourced and the most like eco-friendly way to be fueling things.
Well, this is
because the parts that are necessary. You know what I mean? Like batteries. Well, it is kind of, but only as dangerous as everything that you put in a car is flammable. You know what I mean? It's all flammable. You know what I mean? It's how you manage it. But there's people that have made them hydrogen-powered cars.
Yeah. And electric cars aren't new. They've been on the go for a long time. It's just
there might be an issue with it though, because it requires like a lot of water as well. And then if every single person in the world is trying to fuel their car with water, it's don't know how well that works. I'm not sure. I've not looked into it enough to gauge that. I don't know.
No, I think it's fine in concept, but I don't think that's how I feel like I'm better driving a transit van. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a diesel, but it's fairly good on fuel economy.
Yeah,
it's fit for purpose. It's already done the miles. I mean, it's only like 110,000, so it's already done the miles that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Can't really argue much against that. I've picked up something that's already been used. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what made you go into from being such a motorhead to now you're walking around? You're an environmentalist, I would say.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's really difficult. I don't know how to label myself ever. People ask me to do for a living like that. Yeah, that's tough. But
I would say you're an environmentalist. You're going around. You're cleaning up rubbish outside in the countryside.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, I'm saying I don't know what took me from. I went out, and I've always liked going out and like walking about and stuff like that. But I went to specifically it was Glams. I went to Glams and I walked past this like there's a waterfall, but just before it there was an old dam, and people had been dumping their stuff off the top of the dam into this like mucky bit at the bottom, and it had become this like. It was all orange and stuff because there was like metal thrown off the top. There was TVs, there was tires and stuff. There was literally like tons of stuff in it. And I don't know. don't know why. It just seriously offended me. I was like, I don't know why all of a sudden I feel like I need to do something about it. So I came back with a rake and started picking a couple of bits up. I was like, well, I'll just get a few bits. And by the time I finished, I dug down like 4 feet. Like I properly lambs. Like I properly had to like, because I had to build the dams and stuff. That's the videos that went nuts. I had to build the dams, back up the water, like muck up all the sediment, then let the dam go and flush all the sediment out of that pool down into the next one, so that I could get down to stuff that had been buried like from 30 years ago. You know what I mean? There was a lot of stuff in there. It'd been in a long time, and I took tons of stuff out there, tons.
And that was just you alone the first time?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and I was down there. I mean, that was during the summer. And I was down there like 9-10 hours a day at one point. Like I was down there constantly.
What made you record it?
I was doing the mental health walks at the time. I was doing like my
right. So you'd already started.
Yeah, I was doing
like some live streaming
my
before.
mental health lives and.
Right, take me back. This is during COVID.
Yeah. So when COVID all kicked off, I joined TikTok just kind of for something to do, and it had been like I said kicked off, and everybody was on it, so I thought I'll jump on. And I quickly decided I was going to start making some content because I had nothing to do at the time. I'd lost my job due to COVID, and I was like, well, I'm going to start trying to do something with my time. So I started doing mental health videos and like basically regurgitating different ideas and from counsellors and things on how to manage mental health, and especially during lockdown because loads of people were depressed, like understandably.
It was a hard time.
Yeah,
it was.
So I started doing the mental health walks. It was just me walking around Arbroath on a live. Sometimes up to like 500 people just walking about telling people to tell me their problems, and once it was safe space, was kind of you could talk about what you wanted, and if you had
that's what you called it, safe space.
Yeah, if you had something you were upset about, you could talk about it. My moderators were quick to ban bullies, so nobody got judged. Like it was a decent space. People got to have a bit of a chat, and a lot of people got a lot of stuff off their chest. But they were the ones that started to tell me to share my tidying up because I told them I'd do that in my spare time, and they were like, "Well, look, you should video it." So nobody's going to want to watch me picking up rubbish in the woods. Like that's not. That doesn't really make particularly. I know, it's stupid me. Yeah, I was like, nobody's really going to be that entertained by that. And one of the first videos I did ended up like 30 million views, and it went up to like 500,000 followers from like 30k in like 4 days. It was crazy.
So you were nuts. You were at 30,000. You were at 30,000 viewers just doing the safe space talks.
Yeah, just doing the mental health walks and things. I was about 35,000, and it did really well. It was.
And they pushed you to do the videos.
Well, this was
the walks, right? Okay.
Start like filming. If you're doing it, just start filming it and put it online. Show people. I was like, well, show some people and see what they think, and it went nuts. And since then, I had another couple of big videos that took me over the million, 1.5 now.
It's a proper nice wee story that. That's like you went out your way to try and help all these people, and they're the ones that pushed you into doing what you do now. And look how big it's gotten you. You know what I mean? Like,
some of them are. I mean,
that's a little bit. That's a nice bit of karma for you. You know what I mean? You people gave you, you gave back. You know what I mean? That's good. That's nice.
And the community that's appeared like on my
he's a tight.
Wild man.
Yeah, I seen some of it. Some of them were fucking. Man.
And the comments
nice people,
are so nice. Like it totally humbles me, and it's like. Some people would go to their head and they'd think they were like bigged up, but I don't like. It's not like I don't look at them and be like, "Oh, that makes me amazing." Like I think people are amazing for saying
doing
things
that.
Like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like
TikTok can be quite a raw place in the comments sometimes, but your comments are always like they're always like people so wholesome and nice. Now it's quite strange. Yeah,
like everybody came on, they were super nice. You know, like, well,
and if anyone wasn't, everyone was like, "Here, you."
Yeah,
off you go.
But when people weren't nice, and when people started bullying people, I wouldn't immediately go, "Look, get out, you." You know what I mean? It'd be like, "Well, look." You're in here being horrible to people for a reason. Like, why are you in here being horrible to people? Like, what? You're obviously not happy in yourself. Like, or this wouldn't be how you have to be getting self-esteem. Like, and a lot of people, you would be surprised about people kind of go, "Yeah, you're kind of right." Like, I'll hang about. And I've got a couple of followers that like came on, and the first things they said were horrible. They were disgusting, and they were trying to be offensive. They were trying their best to be offensive. Basically, said, "Look, what are you doing? Like, I'm just here doing a mental health walk. I'm not antagonising them. There's no reason for you to get upset by me. Like, why do you feel the need to try and step on that? Like." And most people will kind of look and kind of go, "Shit," you know what I mean? Like, we've all been somebody else. I was in the alt-right pipeline, you know, and I was one of these like edgelord like fucking.
Yeah, when you're trying to be like nasty to someone and they're just super nice to you, you're almost like, oh no. You're like, oh god, I'm sorry. So yeah, you can imagine it proper takes away from them.
That's everybody's been like. I mean, I was on Facebook like winding folk up and being like mad like alt-right like. You know what I mean? Like, I was antagonising people left, right, and centre. But it's because it was miserable, man. Like, you know, I was doing it because it was fucking miserable. Like, and I think, like, once you get down it, most of these, like, kids, most of these young guys, like, the ones that a lot of these streamers and things like capitalize on. You know the kids I'm on about, like the disenfranchised teenage boys, like, and it's grim. Kids that feel like they're ignored or they're like who they are isn't acceptable and all this kind of thing. Like, and then folk weaponize that and use that to be like, oh yeah, you should follow me and this is how you do it. And I anytime I see something like that, I don't think, oh, I don't want to make it worse. I think, oh, look, that's a kid that's hurt. You know, and like it's somebody that actually feels something. Like, nobody's that nasty for no reason unless they're a sociopath, and they're pretty rare.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, like most people are nasty because they're hurt. Like that's, and it's hard to see past that though, because sometimes people say shit's really nasty, and you can't just like, oh no, it's no problem at all. You know, don't worry about it. Like I know you don't mean it. Like someone's really nasty. I'm like as bad as anybody else for on occasion, like snapping back, but you've got to try and elevate yourself. You know what I mean? You just need to blow a blood vessel, man. You get yourself stressed out and nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, it's nuts. It's
bad to waste the energy to creating more negative energy around yourself. Anyway, it's a vicious cycle doing stuff like that.
This is it.
Having somebody there who, if you are going into these circles, and then having somebody there who pushes back, saying, "Whoa, listen, all we're doing is something nice here," and you coming in with a negative energy. It'll stop you in your tracks.
Yeah, I've had people do it to me. I had people do it to me when I was younger. I remember like kicking off and like saying things to you, and I'm like, why are you even saying things like that? Like that can't be what you mean. Like, well, no, look, I've got carried away and I've got upset and I didn't mean it. Like, and you have to apologise as an antagonist, and that takes you a step back, and you kind of go, oh, look, like obviously my behaviour isn't correct because I say I need to fix it. You know what I mean? Like, but it takes. I mean, some folk don't never realise that, and that's how they become just nasty people. Period. You know what I mean? Like,
so it came from a darker place yourself. You would say you weren't in the best place yourself, and then you decided to help people.
Yeah.
Like Kiwi says, you help people, they helped you back, push you forward to do these videos. It's a nice story. Yeah. And that videos just started to grow and grow.
Yeah.
To what, 1.5 or something on 1.5 mil?
Going 1.6 on TikTok.
1.6.
Going 40 on Instagram, which I only started doing the Instagram thing like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah. But I see the videos take off, man. You kicked off followers on Instagram.
Oh, your Instagram stepped up, and I didn't even I didn't initially. I mean, you seen yourself. I didn't do any videos where it's like, oh, follow me on Instagram. Like I kind of just let Instagram build its own following out of nowhere, and it did. It just genetically like formed this like community of its own, which I kind of like that it's independent. Yeah. Like, there is some crossover now, but a lot of them were just like.
People found it themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your videos on TikTok, at the start, you didn't really monologue them as such. Now, when you're walking on Instagram, I see you monologuing along with them, and it's a new type of creative way you're attacking it, right? So, how have you felt about the creative side and coming up with new ideas for? Not new ideas, because you are just being genuine when you go out, but there is a way to present it. How has that been, like editing all these?
I think
have you taken well to that?
I don't know. I think a lot of it was born of self-esteem. Like, it's easier to put out a video with just text. You know what I mean? Like, it's far easier to do a video with pretty music and an easy like little bit of text, because you're separated from that as a person. You know what I mean? But as I started to put my face on the page and I started to like put myself in front of the camera a bit more and stuff like that, I thought, well, I'll start doing a bit more like voiceovers and things. And it's essentially, I mean, it's funny. I'll do a voiceover and it'll take me like an hour, because I'll do loads of cuts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll try different inflections and I'll say it different ways, and I'll try. I
felt that he asked me to do a video at one point for one of these points, and honestly, it took me so many goes to get it. It's so hard when you hear yourself. You're like, oh no, that's
you hear it back and you go, nope.
Just even looking at yourself again as well. Like when you're taking a video of yourself doing it, man. It's
It's mad, but it's it's good. Like putting the content out and stuff, and it doing well is really, really good. But it is quite like.
I like the fact that you're now attaching yourself to it with like them on. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that's when I changed my name just from EarthDrop to my full name on TikTok. That was because this is like the internet idea is don't share your full name. You know, what I mean? You're kind of meant to be a bit more cautious. Than here's my name, here's where I live. Like people know where I live now. You know what I mean? Like people know like
the area you are walking in and stuff.
You know what I mean? Like I was walking around my hometown. Like it wasn't as if I was hiding it from people. You know what I mean?
There was people being like, "Oh, I just seen you. By the way, you just walked past my house."
I mean, I got threatened a couple of times. I remember that. There was that boy. He goes about on TikTok. I'll not name drop because I'll end up one of these like mad drama things.
Oh,
but he's like one of these. I don't think he's. I don't know. I don't know. But he does these mad videos where he antagonizes people and he like pretends he's a police officer and He's done videos talking about how he's in police chases all the time, and he pretends he's a lawyer. He came in under my page under a fake HMRC page, and I took the mick for ages, didn't I?
Yeah.
And it culminated in him being on my live, I'll come and find you, I know where you are. And it got to a point I was like, well, come and get me, that's you know where I am, and I'm on camera, by all means, rock up.
Good luck.
And you've got you can't just be like, oh no, please don't hurt me, and sign off. What do I do? Never go back on the internet again.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I'm well, come in my house.
Yeah, you can tell people like that are just out for the reaction. You know, they're just out to goad you and make you look try and make you look silly in front of the people that are watching you.
I don't understand when it's such wholesome content that you put out. I don't understand.
Because people, when they're that miserable, they don't like it being so wholesome and nice. They're stop being so nice to each other. I'm miserable, you should be fucking, you know what I mean? And it grates on them.
People give me a lot of the, you're just virtue signaling, when it's one of these, you're only doing it to get the attention kind of deal. You're only here doing good things. It's the same argument. You see when you see people give, homeless people stuff and it's videoed, and folk are that's you're just using them for views. A lot of them are. I fully understand that a lot of them are. But at the same time, doing
the good deed was still
good
done.
Things on camera might encourage other people to do these good deeds. You know what I mean? The whole idea with me sharing me tidying up is to show people that I'm just a dude. And if you go and look at my videos, 90% of my content, I say things like I'm just a guy, or I'm just a dude, or I'm just some bloke. I don't self-aggrandize. I'm I'm some amazing guy that's out here doing all this work. I'm just some bloke. You know what I mean? Anybody can do this work because I've got no inherent set of skills or abilities.
It's not like you're saying to people, "Don't come and help me" either. As well, you've actually said to people, "Come out and do it" as well.
But I don't. It's not in a condescending oh, you should be out there doing this. Oh, you should all be out here doing this with me kind of idea. It's a kind of look, I'm doing it. If you want to do it, great. You know what I mean? And a lot of people have, and I've had some amazing responses from people. I've had people send me videos of them tidying whole beaches and stuff. Folk have picked up tons of stuff, and this Jodie said to me a couple of times. She's what I don't think you realise is you've tidied up literally all over the planet. There's folk from the Philippines and stuff that sent me videos that have been out in rivers picking stuff up, and she's they've all said that they're doing it because they saw you doing it first. But that doesn't sync with me. You know what I mean? They were already the kind of people to do that.
I don't think information like that can do it. I don't think information like that really sinks in for a long time. That's massive.
It's good, but it's good, in a sense, you're saying, it's definitely people that already had,
that
the idea, and they already had that sort of desire, but then you were the push. You were the push to be actually go and do it, you know what I mean? And so it is,
maybe
as much as you're saying you're not the effect, without you having done that, they might have just been it would be nice, but not today.
The thing is, these people might have had a need for a good outlet, and didn't know what way to go, and you put out an example on the internet, and they saw that and went, that's the one I'll do.
I want to do something good. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, they didn't know what they wanted to do, but they wanted to do something, and you pushed them to do that. That's amazing.
Which has definitely been the idea, but it's environmental anxiety is a real thing. People freak out. They're really worried. People are really scared about what's going to happen. Sea levels rise and all this kind of stuff. Folk are petrified, and I think having the ability to do something about that, even if it's small, gives you some degree of closure about it. You feel a little bit better about it, it's being resolved. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just sitting in the corner watching everything go terrible. And there's been a lot of people that said I feel better about what goes on now that I'm out here doing this. And I think it does help. I mean, I do think it's good for people.
It also does make you realise that if enough people commit to it, if you, as one person, can convince someone as far as Philippines, and I know it's been people from America and things like that as well.
I've got 40% of my audience
to be going and cleaning up things like that. If enough people done it, it just goes to prove you could blanket that experience all over the planet, and then if everyone did do things like that, there could be a real difference. When people are like, oh, what difference can you actually make? They're like, you know what I mean?
Somewhere.
If one person can affect tens of people to hundreds of people, then hundreds of people can affect thousands to tens. You know what I mean?
One drop of water creates a whole ripple, man.
Yeah,
it's good to think that if you could spread that, if everyone did do their bit, it actually would make a big difference. And it's pretty. It's good. It's just interesting to see how far that spreads from
go,
even just from you.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I realised that. I mean, 6 months? Me and you had discussions about the page.
Yeah,
and then I had a discussion with Kelly. Look, I'm at a point now where I need to promote the page. I need to I can use this to do something mad. I can actually use the clout to generate money that I can use
call it
to
clout, the following.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I can use it to make money. That can use the money to put in endeavours that help. I can go out and recycle a bunch of tires using the money I've got in, or I can use the money to pay for the fuel that gets me out there. Like, the ability to do these things, obviously, like it's none of it's free. Like, it cost me money for like a year and a half. It's been really hard. Like, but as things are starting to change, it's become more like a business, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm aware that if I get myself 10 million followers on TikTok and 1 million followers on Instagram, I'll make enough money to start planting forests instead of just tidying them up. You know what I mean? Like, I can buy forestry land. It's like, because forestry land is like single culture forests, which is just one kind of trees.
Yeah.
And they're really bad. They're really, really bad for the environment. Nothing grows underneath them. Like, they fall down easy, all this kind of noise. And if I had the money, it'd be a case of go and buy these places and rip down however many of the trees to use for whatever, and then replant different species of trees. Like, try and create an old growth forest. Like, that's and it's totally attainable. Like, I mean, if you've got the money to throw at these things, it's totally doable. You know what I mean? But it's unfortunate that money's required, because I hate involving in the money. I hate it.
Yeah.
Every time I've had to do a GoFundMe and everything, it gives me like mad anxiety. I hate it. I don't like people sending me the money either. Like, I know it sounds silly, but when I look in my bank and there's like however much money, I'll kind of go, oh shit, like that's other people's money, and it makes me like really quite anxious, because I'm really cautious about how I spend it and like how it's distributed and stuff.
That just means you care, man. That's good. That just means you care about what you're doing. You don't want to. You're not a con artist. If you were a con artist, you would just be taking these people's money and laughing. But you're showing that you care and that you're actually putting it back into the business and doing, like you say, recycling stuff with it, putting it back in, getting you out there. All this stuff.
It is. It's hard to say. Like I say, it's hard to see that. So I mean, like, especially during a cost of living crisis, like, people are working hard for their money. Like,
yeah.
I mean, all three of us are aware that money struggles are a thing. You know what I mean? I've been homeless. I mean,
we're homeless.
I was gonna out Cowie there. Yeah, fucking.
No, we were.
It's
bad as even when I was actually working as well.
Yeah, I know. And this is a problem. Like, poverty is not just like, oh, no job and you're poor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anybody, like, and
you're not living in the van.
It was rough, eh? And then, but then when people send you money, when somebody sends you, like, I've had somebody at one point sent me £500 as a donation, right? I woke up one morning, it was £500 had been sent as a donation to the GoFundMe, and I went through Jodie. I was like, I don't know what to say about this. Like, I don't know how to respond to this. Like, I want to send a message, being like, thank you very much, but other than writing the word thank you 46 times, like, I didn't know how to adequately tell them how much of a difference it made. And for me, like, £500 is like a week's work. You know what I mean? Like, that's wild. And the fact that somebody would send that amount of money to like somebody like myself, but it's also a bit of a burden. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine, because it allows me to do more of the work, and I do, like, I'm transparent as I can possibly be, to show folk what I buy and stuff. But it's the page went from just a bit of fun to like proper work.
Yeah.
Like, overnight. And it's not that I don't enjoy it, just it's wild how it happened.
Yeah, it eventually takes over. But that's good. All these things started from the COVID. Like, as bad as COVID was for a period of time, you got to take the positives with it.
Yeah, that was wild. But this is
I think having a kid did it to you a little bit as well.
Yeah,
and kind of briefly mentioned, like, softened you up a bit and made you care a little bit more.
It did soften me up a lot.
Yeah, it made you care a little bit more, and you started, because that was when you stopped eating.
4.
Like,
she's 3 and a bit. She's going to be 4 in August.
Yeah, you stopped eating like piggins, things like that. Like, you started like caring a little bit more about that stuff and things like that when you had a kid. You proper softened up a bit. You softened up and darted left. That's what you did.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I did. Yeah, really.
So that might be the big change from being a motorhead when you were younger to we put more of the environmentalists you are now.
I think I've always been like, I mean, you know what I was like, obviously, when I was younger. I've always kind of been like a just live fast, and if anything goes wrong, fuck it kind of person. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those like, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll try that, and I'll do this, and we'll go out and we'll do that, and like, done all this mad stuff, but a lot of it was semi-self-destructive. And you get to that point, you're like, look, I really want to continue like this, like,
yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, I mean, driving the way we did and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was
the chances we took and stuff like that. We've been in, like, I mean, even just like on occasions together. Yeah, we've been nearly involved in some horrible crashes.
You just don't think about it at the time, though, eh? Like, at the time, when as much as like we're not old now, like when you are younger, it's like it's an unconcern.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're not bothered about that. You don't think that far ahead.
No.
You just don't. You're just like,
because you're not really. You don't think, oh, well, I'm not like.
Yeah, what am I worried about? Yeah. Who am I worried for? It's just me.
I saw something that said males don't understand the concept of consequences until their mid-20s.
Yeah, well, I think they become considerably more aware of like your long term.
I think
that's what I mean.
Like, when people make their political sway, though, this is like people like I don't mean political. I mean like in an ideological kind of way. Like people either go left or right. In the 20s.
I think
that's when that happens. Like you can start off a certain way through your teenage years and stuff, but it's when you hit your 20s, you make your like bank left or your bank right. That's kind of like how it works. You know what I mean? Like you occasionally get like fucking centrists and stuff, but like you know what I mean, like, for the most part. And I think like the closer, I mean, I'm not gonna fucking. That's the more I've got like closer to 30, or the more I went left, and I've passed 30. I'm much
yes.
I am.
I don't know the word for how aggressively you went left.
I did. I took a mad swerve. It was. But I think like
I'm not gonna lie, I'm
actually, do you know
for the toilet.
The way I've said that, I said it like you're an aggressive left. I don't mean aggressive.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I mean, you just went left. Yeah, I don't mean you're an aggressive. I just mean militant, you went left.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I did though.
It was aggressively right and took a hard turn.
Yeah, you just
Because I was quite like, I mean, I was quite vocal about a lot of things. You think about like back in the day, like I remember saying things, and I think now about the impact of stuff that I might have said to people and stuff. It's not nice, like, but I mean, you think about even stuff that comes to, like genders and stuff. Like I remember like I like people saying stuff and me being like an antagonist, like antagonizing. I'm like, oh, well, there's only two genders, and like for like you know what I mean, like and beyond, regardless of what you think of the situation, if somebody voices their opinion or just exists on the internet, and you turn around and slaughter them for something like that's not that's not good. Like I don't know what MD says.
It's not. It doesn't build towards it.
No, exactly. It's not conducive to nothing. It's just aggressive for the sake of being aggressive. Like whether you agree with that or not,
it's just to tear them down.
Like you're more right than I am.
Yes, I would definitely say that. I would definitely say I'm more right than you are.
You are also exceedingly tolerant. You're really tolerant with people. Like if somebody said to you, "I want to be called she."
Yeah, I'm like, that's fine.
You would do that.
Yeah, that's
you know
all
what
good.
I mean?
Yeah,
and that for me, that's the defining point.
Yeah, that's why I always class myself as I am one of those people that's quite a centrist. Like I did go a lot. Like I was a lot more left when I was younger. Like I did take a right turn. Like the older I've gotten, but I'm not like. I wouldn't class myself as like a proper full on.
Nah, you're not
on the right. Yeah, you know what I mean. I've got a lot of the qualities I have are very, very like in aligned with yours. Being the way you are. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's just some things that. I think I am just a centrist. I just agree I'm quite a 50-50 split on a lot of things.
I don't think there's politics. I think it's just being a decent person. You know what I mean? Like, it's just being
I suppose. I don't want to really align my morals with a fucking political party, but like, I think they're both fucking horrible people. So
everybody's fucking
I don't know nothing about politics.
Politics.
I'm going to take a 5-minute break while I go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Right, boys, we're back. We were talking. Where were we at before I went to the toilet?
Politics. We were getting a swerve.
No, let's not do politics.
Before somebody cries.
We were speaking about how it took you such a turn from you being right to left. We weren't talking about politics. It was more personal.
Yeah, more like ideology, like not like political opinions. Like,
but from the space you were in when you originally started it, where are you in now? Like, do you feel less anxious, or do you think that the anxiety that's still there because you're taking on this? But do you think it's different anxiety? You know what I mean?
I'm a lot more comfortable posting things. Like I'm a lot less critical of my own work because I've seen some of it do really well. Like, like at the beginning with, I would put out edits and I would try like different transitions. And
Why are
stuff.
you smiling?
I'm just smiling.
Something.
I'm just smiling.
More jokes that we can't say. That's it.
You can say them.
I was thinking about the joke that I couldn't say.
I've forgotten where we were.
Oh yeah, you were talking about like the headspace that you're in now. Like, is it better, or do you feel more anxious because you've got obviously all this content to put out and so on?
Because I've been at quite a few followers for a while. It's like it's not half as bad. Like
you can get used to it.
Yeah, definitely. And the reception I get is always fantastic.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility to post?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so you have to keep the content up.
Yeah, I feel like bad if I don't post. Like, because it's not even just that. Like, you drop off the face of the earth on TikTok. If you don't post for a couple of days, you'll post.
So you
and
feel like
get,
it's also a
no
necessity to post
definitely.
every day.
Like, you're incentivized by all social media to post relentlessly. Like, I don't know I don't know how many people realize, but you need to post minimum 3 times a day to hold like a constant. And if you're doing the kind of stuff that I'm doing, like posting 3 times a day, like it's all just me picking up rubbish in the same place. Like there's only so much of it you can do. You know what I mean? Like, and I can do little bits and stuff, but
different
try not
areas
to recycle content and things. Like, you're trying not to be repetitive and Because it's meant to be entertaining.
You can take that quite far though, like the beaches. You can get people involved. You can do loads of different stuff with yours, and you can. There's also ways of making it like a game, sort of. Making prizes. Well, what was that?
No, I was just you remember making a game. I was just trying to imagine to myself what I think the most mental things you've ever found are. What's the most mad things you've found when you've been cleaning stuff up?
Pig's head.
Top five.
Right, okay.
From 5 to 1.
Full pig's head. Super weird. That was in a river.
That's obviously number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because you've mentioned it before.
Yeah. Grenade. That was good. That was that. Found a grenade. That was good. Yeah, so I was raking down beside the back of the conduit. The MOD base, and I was raking in the river that comes out of that property.
I don't know if you can say that.
Yeah. Oh, fuck it. Well, I did. I had to get the bomb squad out and stuff, man. I had to get like.
Oh, right. Okay. You didn't. You don't.
No, he doesn't still have it on his.
No, I didn't take it home with me. I fucking
understanding now, Chief. Thank you.
Nah, they had to come and blow it up in like a controlled explosion. I didn't take it from a fucking collection of war weapons.
I thought you had like a live grenade sitting in your living room.
just
for your 3-year-old.
A little bit of edge, you know what I mean? Just makes life a bit more like exciting. You know, just any moment that might go off, like. Yeah, no, yeah.
It's not been worth it.
Yeah, grenade, pig's head. The shoes and the bones thing freaks me out. Like where I am just now, I've found a lot of shoes, like a lot of like women's shoes, and they're older, like 30 years, 40 years old. And I keep finding bones, but I'm used to finding bones.
My face dropped when you said bones.
Oh, but like big bones.
So. Yeah, but this is like,
my face dropped. Like, what do you mean bones?
Like I showed Cowie a video of a bone that I found that would be as thick as my forearm bone. Like it's at the bend would be as thick as my forearm, but it could still be an animal, and that's not uncommon. I found like deer bones, like cows, like all this kind of like all that exists.
There's
it's just weird finding them beside all this stuff.
But I don't like. It's not as like I'm
clear as that.
I'm not a biologist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't just want to phone the police every time I find a bone. You know what I mean? Bucket KFC and I've got feds out. Like that's not. You know what I mean? Like that's not really an appropriate use of resources.
Might have been a toe bone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Like there's a bunch of bones. And there's
just how much chicken they left on this.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I think they'd stop turning up after a while. So, yeah, you just don't know, and you just keep digging. True. You know what I mean? And I'm going back there tomorrow, so I'll find out. So it's could be my Logan. Is it Logan Paul? Is that?
Give me two more. Give me two more.
Two more.
Two more. Yeah. So you gave us pig's head, shoes and bones,
grenade,
a safe. I feel a safe with the door open. That was a bit weird. Like it was in the middle of the woods. Like someone's taken that there. Like the store
to open it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been stolen. Yeah.
What would be the?
Because you found like
it's hard, man. I do it all the time.
It's more just people dump quite big surprise and stuff as well.
Like a lazy spa and stuff.
Yeah,
like super obscure. Like why go out your way to go and dump a fucking lazy spa in the woods? Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
It's hard to think of like what's bizarre because it becomes kind of normalized. Like I'm used to finding syringes and stuff. I'm used to finding like
that's sad, man.
Heroin spoons and stuff, man. Like it's
that's sad in every sense of the word.
Yeah, it's part, but it's giant, and that's what kind of worries me sometimes. Like you dig through these places and you have to use your hands. And I mean, I ended up in A&E because I cut my finger. That was on an old TV, like. And that was in a river. I had to get like blood tests and stuff because I wasn't sure what
fucking
happened,
TB, man.
Yeah, man, I don't want to do that. You know? So that's a syringe. It's not. I mean, TB's the least of my worries.
Yeah, true.
If I got hepatitis or something like that, that's mad scary. Same when you find clothes. Finding clothes is scary because it's usually like tracksuit bottoms and stuff. Which, I mean, there's absolutely nothing to say there isn't one of them in the pocket, and you won't feel it, and it won't have got out over time. It'll still be there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, there is a bit more risk involved than I think.
When I hear that, and when you told me that you find it often and a lot in and around this area, that made me sad for lots of different reasons. But just the fact that knowing that goes on daily, a lot.
It's where it goes. I'm in the middle of the woods, man. Like I'm in lay-bys in affluent areas where there isn't a like. There isn't a walkable like distance for somebody to go there to take the stuff. So they're driving there, or somebody's driving them there, and then they're taking it and they're leaving their stuff. Like the amount of drinks bottles, like, and I don't mean like juice, I mean alcohol. But the amount of people that must drink and drive is beyond the joke, because you do not find anything more than you find beer bottles on the side of the road. That is the most common thing by a long shot.
Wow,
which is nuts. Like. Who's got the brass neck to drink and then just throw it out their window as they're driving up the road? It's
that's savage.
Wild. Like
just casually dash the beer bottle out the window when you're done with it.
And bottles are really bad because in the summer, what happens is it works like a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
And it can start fires, and it'll set fire to like the leaves and stuff underfoot. That's how there was like a bunch of forest fires down south at one point.
Is that right?
Yeah, they reckon it was to do with the amount of litter and stuff, and it was glass bottles that had been left and started a fire, which happens. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I know personally, just from watching your stuff alone. I used to litter, obviously. Everyone used to did.
Yeah, me too. Everybody.
Yeah, I did used to as well, and it's because of you that.
Because of you, I don't do it.
Like, I'll have so much guilt.
Yeah, same.
Because I'll come behind you and pick it up.
Yeah. I just feel like you'll haunt me in my sleep. I'll just be like, you better go get that fucking wrapper now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Everything I do, every piece of rubbish I have now, and I've been recycled, and it's all because of you.
Yeah, this is, and I don't know. Because, like I say, I did. I mean, we went out and we throw stuff about. But do you know what? You say that, right? Even when we went away, away up the glens and stuff in the cars, we wouldn't litter there.
Yeah, it was different. No. Yeah, if we would have doing this, you don't.
Quote unquote real Scotland. Like when you go out to like lovely areas, places, you didn't do it. Like that was just you were somewhere nice, and it was like a really attractive place to look at. Yeah, exactly.
Keep it nice. Yeah.
But nah, like
I remember we all used to come back with black bags full of rubbish. Burnt wood, stuff like that.
Yeah, the amount of it is nuts. It's nuts. But the amount of folk that go camping and leave everything, like or like they'll leave all the stuff that are back to it. They'll bury a barbecue or whatever and things like that.
And burn stuff
resolved.
Down.
Like just
not to take it home.
It's wild, and you don't really. I mean, I spent 4 days in a river picking stuff up and went back one day and somebody had thrown it all back in.
Yeah, I remember that. Like a push bike and
yeah, man, push bike.
Pulled the push bike and someone actually threw the push bike back into the water.
That's some expense. They had to pick it all up. Like it wasn't easy. It wasn't light. Like they had to pick it all up and chuck it all back in.
Yeah, they'd done it just to be a dickhead.
Yeah. It took me like 3 days to pick it out.
I can only imagine that some little kid did.
It was teenagers. I got them on video. I put the video on Facebook and put them up and was like, if there's any of your bairns, get them sorted. Like, and I was furious. And somebody left a comment being like,
Steve's down there thinking, that would have been me.
Probably would have been us. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like we got shitbags. But
I'm not saying you're not lying.
But nowadays you kind of go, I can't imagine that being fun. You know what I mean? Like it's just. What did you do the weekend? I threw some rubbish in a burn.
Kids are stupid, man. They do stupid things that we all did, man.
It's so much impulse.
Yeah,
just been saying, no thought of consequences, no thought of what's going on. Just thought, there's a bin, get that fucking back in.
Like I said, us males don't learn consequences till our 20s, man.
I feel like everybody's got a line. I mean, I had a line even when we were out like in the cars and stuff like that, going mental in the cars and doing all all that stuff. I remember being in Focus car park. There was like 8 of us all sitting in different cars, like chatting away. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody came into the car park and there was a bunch of like baby seagulls on the ground, like at the end of the car park, and they come in and run over like 2 of them. And pulled up in like hysterics. I was like, I'm going to have to leave. And after I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to punch him in the face. And I said it to him. I was like, I'm going to have to drive away. And I was like, why? He's like, because you just killed a bunch of them. Why'd you do that? He's like, it's only seagulls. He's like, so it'd only be you if I kicked you in the face. Like, is that totally acceptable? You know what I mean? Like, I'm away. And that was even back then. Like, I've never been one of these, like, oh yeah, just, like.
No, I'm not somebody who likes watching or seeing pain being inflicted. I'm not one of these people. And I don't like people being picked on or anything like that. I just don't like it.
I'm not good with stuff like that. I don't. You're not meant to punch down. That's not the point.
Nah, never, man. If someone's more innocent or weaker than you, you're supposed to help.
That's what bothers me about animals and stuff, though. You know what I mean? Like this is what gets me about things like chimps and stuff, like animals that like look similar to us. How can you look something in the eyes like that and do it do horrible things to it, like and test on it? And talking off, a couple of days ago, the UK government have allowed testing for makeup purposes in the UK.
Wow.
A couple of days ago, that's just happened. That is, the UK government have now said that it's totally okay to test on animals for the sake of cosmetics. For the sake of makeup, fucking lipstick and things. Man. It is wild, and I fully support that all these people that go into these places and set the animals out and stuff like that. That's a great idea.
That's crazy, to be fair. I thought we were way past that, though.
Wild. Well, it's been banned for the last, like, 30 years.
Why would you bring something like that back? Why would you reverse that?
I mean,
that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Nuts. But then, if you look at the last 4 or 5 years, they've started dumping water. They've started dumping raw sewage in the rivers, and that was illegal for a long time. And then they went, nah, never mind, it's not legal anymore.
Do you think this is more to do with the American involvement in our businesses and stuff?
It's just greed, man. It's waste companies don't have to pay the money to process their waste properly. It's cheaper and easier to dump it in the ocean. They don't have to pay millions of pounds, and it's cheaper to pay the fine. That's what's messed up. It's all the fines. See, like I'm not going to mention companies. There's companies that operate in like Arbroath and Montrose and stuff, and they've done disgusting things to environments, like really, really, really bad. And it's companies that we like all know people that have worked for, and they just pay the fine because it's cheaper than doing it properly and getting rid of your stuff properly. You speak to folk that worked in like the docks in Montrose 20 years ago, and they'll tell you about going out to the sea with boats and tipping stuff out the back, tipping in at the North Sea. How was that? I mean, that's how you got rid of it. Just drive out, float out at the North Sea and push off the back of a boat. Done.
That's very criminal, isn't it?
It is. It's mad. It's mad. As if it doesn't have any consequences.
Yeah,
but it will. When there's no coral and no fish, and there's nothing to eat the fish, and then the birds die and everything else is dead and can't fucking breathe, and they'll maybe learn. You know what I mean? Like that's how much do you?
Will you learn then?
You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you need?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah. It's not. But the thing is, attitudes are changing and folk are being better. Like when it comes to environment, folk are getting better. I fully believe that. Like more people have got gardens with like wildflowers and stuff in them and things like this, and that's like it all makes a difference. Like
it does.
And this is 100%. Folk like bird feeders and stuff and all this. It's all on the rise, and that's as far as I'm concerned, it's a pretty decent thing considering everything's like declining. The least we can do is put some flowers in the garden. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, it's a bit messed up, but. Like, these companies and that, they will... I don't understand why they don't... There must be a reason it's that expensive to get rid of the waste properly.
Just because there's a
long process of it. Yeah, I know, but...
a lot of money, yeah.
Surely just find a cheaper fucking way, man.
It's the same reason that people dump tyres in the woods. It's the exact same reason, because it's too dear to recycle tyres.
A lot of people don't even... dump them, they just wait till bonfire night and then burn them.
And they burn them. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's not like a tyre in the air. That's
horrible.
You know what I mean? Like,
think about that. How much that happens all over the country as well.
This is it. And people, do you know what? People say that. I've heard that a couple of times online, as if it undoes the work you do. They're like, "Oh, but yeah, while you're doing this, like these companies are pumping like raw sludge into the air, like into the seas and stuff." It's like, yeah, they are doing that, but you've got two options. There's either a world where they're doing that and nobody's doing anything, or there's a world where they're doing that and some people are trying to sort it out. Like. That's your two options. You know what I mean?
You can either sit there, watch it, moan about it, and point out that it's happening, or you can get up and do something about
try
it.
And do
like
your
you
own
actually
bit.
have.
This is it. Folk go, it's only 1%, it's only 2%. Well, 2% is better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like
my phone's still on if it's got 1%.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference between a phone 999 and not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just But it is. It's all through greed, and it's because they're not concerned about these companies aren't concerned about how it affects anything. You know what I mean? Like,
just profit in it.
More money to be made. I wish money wasn't a thing. I really do. I swear to God, I'd be so much happier in a society where we just traded things.
Spend mine like it's not a thing.
Yeah, just
fucking skin all the time.
We've had this topic of conversation a lot. I can't wait for the apocalypse, man.
Oh, mate,
I can't. Like, I'm not actually wishing for the apocalypse.
I know what you mean. It's the zombie one I'm prepped for. But do you know what the worst thing is? Do you know what's going to suck? If it's not just like the Walking Dead zombies. If they're fast zombies, I'll shoot myself in the face. Yeah. Like, I'm not even going to bother. Like,
nah, man, you gotta try.
It's 28 days later zombies.
Yeah,
like,
like, what's that one with Brad Pitt when they're climbing the wall and there's like thousands of them on top of each other? Like,
Daisies?
Daisy.
No, is it Daisy?
It's Daisy.
No.
Yeah,
it's something.
It's Daisy.
It's something about a Z. Is it Daisy? I guess. Daisy's a game, I know that. Daisy's the game one.
Almost Daisy.
Daisy?
Yeah,
Daisy.
If it's them, I'm out.
Yeah, there's no point in even trying.
Nah, what's the point?
To just get mutilated and
I
chewed
can't
up.
Run anyway. Never mind if this thing doesn't need to stop for a breath. You know what I mean? That's fucking
World War Z.
World War Z. I don't have
the
Z in it, but yeah, Daisy's the game. Yeah,
Daisy's the game. World War Z. Yeah, that one's a bit mad, but I'd still try.
Well, you'd be by yourself.
Probably, but yeah.
I would establish a colony. That'd be a. I don't know what I would find myself doing.
Nah, because everyone needs to bring something. Everyone needs to bring something to the game, like when there's a colony. You know what I mean?
Well, everyone can do stuff.
Yeah. What do you bring to the game, Josh?
We had this discussion.
Entertainment.
We had. I'll clean up.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't even a rib thing. That's not me pretending like you don't. That's me actually wanting you to say.
What would be?
Yeah,
what would you be? A tracker?
Thing?
Would you be hunting? Would you be
logistics?
Logistics.
I'm behind the desk. You guys go out and check these three shops.
That was the best attempt at supervisor without saying supervisor.
You three guys go and check that shop.
I'll make sure things are happening.
I'll keep an eye on everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, a desk job. That's the answer to that one. Yeah, not zombie fighting thing getter. That's not going to be me.
Waste management.
Yeah, I'll dispose of any of the zombies.
You deal with the recycling.
Yeah, I'll do all that. Like setting traps up and shit. I'm down for that. Like,
I just need the downfall of money and currency.
Yeah, you'd be the cook.
Yeah, that's a pretty handy skill to bring.
I don't know what I would do.
It depends on what there is to eat. If all you're going to eat is fucking squirrel, it doesn't matter how it's cooked. It's just
but I can fix things, but not any things that we would have. So there's no
I could be a cook.
I wouldn't really have very much of a use.
But I would also like to be a hunter.
Yeah.
I would like to hunt, skin, bring stuff back.
I would have to be.
I would like to be a lookout. I would like to be a lookout.
Fuck it.
I would like to be a lookout on the tower.
What are you doing, animals? What was
Security.
that?
I said,
Right, sorry.
What are you doing to
I
animals?
just have to go out hunting and you went a
No!
Sorry, I really didn't hear that properly at all.
Oh, man. I would like to do some lookout work. I don't think I would just be in the kitchen.
That's fair, because you only need to be in the kitchen sometimes, so.
Who do you think would be the leader?
I know he likes to think. I was going to say, that's why I asked, because I thought he was going to turn and be like, I'd be the leader.
Who the fuck honestly, who answers that way? No, what would you be? I'd be the gang leader. I'd be on top. That's yeah.
I think I'd be him. I'd be the guy.
We can vote. Us three can vote right now.
I'm pretty diplomatic. Like I feel
No,
like
because I don't think we'd agree on who should be in charge. I don't think.
I totally agree.
I'm not agreeing. It's Josh.
Yeah,
No.
I totally agree. Yeah,
well, then it's me, because we'll fight for it and fuck you too.
I'm not on about us three. I'm on about the whole group.
Oh, right.
And for a start, fuck you.
I stand fast with my comment.
Nah, bro.
It's hard finding a place.
You panic too much.
What?
You'd freak out.
Yeah, you're the same as me. You're a neurotic
okay.
mess.
Nah.
Fucking
Me? Surely not.
Post-apocalypse. I'm not leaving the fucking house. That's fucking.
I'd get shit done.
See, I don't think I would.
I would get shit done.
I'd probably do myself in. I'm not gonna. Post-apocalypse zombies.
I'd keep you alive, man.
Zombies, mate.
We'd keep you
Not
alive.
artificially, not on a chain, but like.
Yeah, you'd be good. We'd keep you going.
We'd keep you
Not
going.
like, not like Shaun of the Dead, but he's got the other boy like chained up and playing Xbox with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one of them's a zombie and he's tied up. Just, playing FIFA, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah.
Still getting killed first in Apex.
Oh, yeah, I know. Sitting just on a TV, just staring at it. Like, I've got a 1.0 KD. Like, Josh, the screen hasn't been on for years. Yeah, this was our resident wise man. He now just sits in a dark room, rocking back and forward. That's a.
I'm a resident wise man. You see,
So I've got my staff. That's what I need. I'll take my
You really
stick
see
out.
yourself as Gandalf, don't you?
I'm Gandalf. That's
I'm Gandalf.
The pipe smoke. That's
the
what I'm
Angus
about.
Forest Wizard.
Who are you from Lord of the Rings? Kevi. Who's Kevi from Lord of the Rings? If you think you're Gandalf.
Oh, am I Gandalf? No, I know who I am from Lord of the Rings. You seen that Radagast the Brown?
Oh, yeah.
See that boy with the birds in his hair?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Look up, you're Frodo. Dragged along the course.
Right here, he's a OG mate. He's not actually. It's Sam does all the work, innit?
I think I'm Sam.
Sam does all the work.
Do you think? I don't know. I honestly don't know who I'd be.
I don't think I do all the work. I like Sam and I want to be Sam.
Aragorn.
You could be
Nobody would
Aragorn.
pick Merry or
You could be-
Pippin, right?
Aragorn's.
I like Merry and Pippin. I like them both.
I'm not brave enough to be Aragorn.
But I don't have. If I was Merry, I don't have a Pippin. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need two people that are like.
Sounds really depressing. That sounds like an advert. Can you help Steve find a Merry?
Steve's not very merry. Can you be his Pippin?
Please donate 99p.
Yeah. So if you send 99 pence, Steve can get a Pippin.
That's not how I meant it.
So weird. Yeah, Radagast the Brown, the boy with the birds in his hair and the rabbits on his
that's
sled
fair.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that is you.
That is
Actually,
you.
I'll be
That's a
that
fair
dude.
call.
Yeah.
I think that is fair.
And he's absent-minded as shit. That helps.
I'm trying to think. Like I'm chubby, so I think it's somebody that's a bigger character.
One of the
orcs.
Nah, because Gimli's small.
Gimli.
He's short. I'm not short.
Yeah, but he's a beast, man. He is a
He's
beast.
obese, man. Thanks.
He's
Steve.
obese.
Nah,
I said it.
What are they called? Wargs? No, what? That's the
Wag
dog things,
Riders.
isn't it? That's
Yeah,
the
the Wag
dogs,
Riders.
isn't it? I like dogs.
I'd be one of the elves. Fuck it.
An elf.
An elf.
Would you be an elf?
I don't know, because I was just there
A
like
mystical blonde person. Is that how you see your
blue eyes. I've got blue eyes. Fuck it, that's all I need. And my ears fucked.
I honestly
Got
think
fucked
you would
up
be a
ears.
dwarf.
Thanks, man.
I do. I think you'd be a dwarf.
Yeah, do you know what? I can see you with a beard, like a proper
Yeah, a
like
proper
beard and a
beard,
battle axe. That's it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, he might be short, man, but he's got mad power.
Well, that's what I'm known for.
Still needs a step ladder though. That's what.
No, he needs a box. Should I get you a box?
Sorry, I need a box.
Yeah, fuck it.
Would you like me to describe it to you?
Was it nobody chucks a dwarf? Or what was it? Nobody throws
Nobody
a dwarf?
tosses a dwarf.
That's it. I've not seen them in a while. I need to watch them again.
I like
I've
the
watched them all,
the prequels. What are they called? The
Hobbit
Hobbit movies. I like
yeah.
the Hobbit movies.
Hobbits are good.
really
They grow on you. Like, I
Yeah,
watched them
yeah.
the first time, they're not as good, but then you keep watching them and
Yeah, I
they
think
get a
they're
lot
really
better.
good. I think they're awesome movies.
I didn't like how they killed off the dragon just at the start of the next movie though. It just went, and dead. I mean, like, you build up a whole movie and then right at the start of it.
Now, the third movie was rushed. It could have been made an hour longer.
But how they made 3 books and
One, yeah, I know.
you know what I mean?
3 books into
one book
one
into
movie.
3 movies. Yeah, that was just.
One book into 3 movies.
Yeah, my gran's read the books and she says it's always missing from the movie. There's so much you don't get.
Lord of the Rings, like,
Do you know? Right. So, did you used to have copies of the Lord of the Rings, the extended editions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
the
I
DVDs?
have some. Yeah, and I have a feel. I had a feeling that I maybe have yours.
yeah, they are, because I don't have them anymore.
Oh, they're right.
The
Well, in that
brown
case,
case?
yeah, it's like a big case and it's got all 3 of them and it's the extended editions of
Yeah,
all the
they're mine.
movies. Yeah,
I've
smash
been
it.
looking for them for
Ha.
ages, bro.
Not
I've went out
Amazing.
and bought, like, extra
Steve,
ones
I've
'cause my
had
dad gave
those
me abuse
for.
them.
I have had those
Time.
honestly since I lived in Dundee. Like we're
Yeah,
talking
you've had them
5
time.
years,
Time, not more than that.
Yeah,
6 or 7 years then maybe.
mate.
Extended editions, so they're like 4 hours a piece.
That's wild.
They're really good, man.
To be fair,
Really
I'm still
good.
Unreal.
I'm
I
still
can't
due you
believe-
20 quid from like 9 years ago. That's it. Yeah.
I can't believe you even
You're
asked if they were
I
mine.
should have known that's how our friendship would be set up when the first time I ever met you, is because you would say you would give me 20 quid for something. And remember saying
I didn't. I dropped my phone down a drain. I was pissed, and him and Brandon Montez picked me up, and it took me back to Montrose. And it's the first time I'd met Cowie ever. And I got out of the car, steaming, dropped my phone in the drain, like inside a gutter.
it slipped like right between the grate.
right, but it disappeared. You could still see the light in I had. They'd said to Cowie, he's like, 20 quid if you pick that out. And he just lifted off the grate, stuck his hand in, picked the phone up, and went, there you go. He still never got 20 quid.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
no, I'll give you that next time we see you.
Jet up, I think that might have been like 10 or 11 years ago.
It's definitely
It was
about
like
10, 11 years ago, yeah.
Mad, what am I, like 32 now? Fucking 12
40,
years.
something like that.
So 56, yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah, that is wild. Imagine.
Must be good for you to see King Charles being crowned now after you saw him being born.
Best of pals. Round at Balmoral having parties together, man. Better not say that.
Yeah, you better not say that.
Let's not get onto this.
You'll find yourself edited onto the flight list.
Fuck's sake. See, it never went there. There we go. That's
Pull it back.
Brilliant. Yeah, sure.
Let's not.
So let's not
Sorry,
dip
it
our
was my
toe in
fault.
that conversation. That's now, let's think of someone else quickly.
Everybody's stumbling around their brain for
You know, the worst thing is when you think, don't think about that. That's all you think about. That's it.
I've now completely forgot what we were talking about before because that's all I can think about.
Oh, man. Lord of the Rings. Talking right movies. They're rebooting Harry Potter.
Reboot?
Yeah,
Are they?
apparently rebooting Harry Potter. That's
What, like,
Oh,
what do you mean?
Yeah,
which makes me feel old as no, but I don't know.
Something J.K.
I just seen it online. Sorry,
J.K.
just start a
Rowling's doing
conversation. I wasn't going to get us in trouble.
Well, that could too. That could too. Did you see the thing about the game? Twitch streamers were playing the game, the new Harry Potter game, and
You've got that, yeah.
people were coming onto their stream and being like, just giving them hurling abuse at
Oh,
them
yeah.
for supporting this game,
Oh,
and like made streamers like switch off. And
what's
like,
wrong
made
with the
people
game?
cry.
Like, why are they not
it's-
liking them
they're
supporting
not
it?
letting, because J.K. Rowling said trans women aren't women, and that's her beliefs. All the trans people go fucking mad, bro.
You brought that up to avoid
I'm
getting in
saying- I'm
trouble.
saying- no, no, no.
Exactly, and
Ah.
that's why you said it. I knew
J.K.
it was.
Well,
J.K.
regardless,
Rowling's not exactly my favourite person.
Keeping
but
it on the
I'll
game, one
still
thing
play
I
the
will
game.
say, I got the game on PC when it first came out on PC, right? Really enjoyed the game, but I got it on Xbox as well because I'd first ordered it on Xbox but didn't realise it didn't come out till later, so I got it on PC because I wanted to play it there.
Yeah.
It only then just came out yesterday on Xbox. I got it, and I then had to. It already has a 21 gig update.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's supposed to be just released yesterday. I downloaded it and it had a 21 gig update. Ridiculous.
Maybe, they must have just released it.
I think they just released the same one they released on the PC, but then just gave the update.
I just don't understand how it's so common for developers to just release half a game.
Remember when we got a game back in like 2007, 2008? It was a complete game.
And there was no updates, you just got the game.
Yeah, you bought discs.
Yeah, you would sometimes get downloadable packets.
Some DLCs maps, or something like that.
Yeah. But the game was there, and like you could join lobbies properly. It wasn't a waiting around. There wasn't a 40-second to try and get into a game. Any of this stuff, man.
This me and Josh always talk about this, right? Is like you cannot hop on to casually play.
Nah.
Like you can't hop on and just have a nice few games with your mates. You end up shouting at each other, pure rage and nine. You know what I mean? It never plays on. And he is the fucking I can't end the night on a loss kind of cunt. So he'll sit and grind it out until you can.
If we lose all night, I'll be up until 6 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah, it does.
Sweating out for a positive KD.
Yeah, it's exactly just holding on to the one. You know what I mean? That's that's just desperately holding on.
I'm proud of my .85.
Oh man.
How long have you been playing Apex now?
Like 6 years. Too long to be as bad as it is.
I'm going to say, what's your kill death?
Me and him started playing it season 1.
Yeah,
we started playing it season 1.
I've played it for a wee while. I played it season 1.
It's one of those, like, it's a decent game, but it's another one of those, like, see the packs and stuff. You'll spend like £100 on a pack for a gun, like a make-believe skin on an imaginary place.
£100.
Like, that's all about. You know, you can spend
buying
on
multiple
thing,
packets,
and
you get like random items out the packets and shit.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are mad expensive.
Man. Oh, like FIFA packs.
Yeah. I don't think that should be allowed either. Like, why are people allowed to gamble on?
It's 100% gambling.
Well, that's why they haven't changed FIFA in that many years. They haven't changed it because they don't need to, because they make all the money from just releasing random packs. It's like sticker packets.
That's why Apex is doing the way it does. They just release new maps and then constant just new content, new skins that you can buy, new seasons that you get. Like if you unlock all of the stuff throughout the season, you unlock skins and things, and it's just. But then they don't improve the problems with the game.
Yeah.
They just add more content.
They just want more money, like anything. It's money hungry. You just want somebody who wants to create a good game.
But like their matchmaking's pipe.
As a gaming used to be about like actually playing games. Like you would play a game, that was the game, that was it. You
but now they have all these regulations and rules and these things that they have to hit, their goals, money they have to hit by people higher up. You need a small base company created by somebody in their house.
Not EA.
There is indie game. Yeah,
EA is the big issue.
Yeah,
EA is
100%.
It's like a money rinsing company as well.
But this is the problem. Like it used to be, games used to be a place to get away from being like
raging.
Yeah, like even if you were somebody that felt disenfranchised or you're like quote unquote lower class, you would go into games and feel like you were somebody else. That was the whole idea. And you can't do that if there's a class system online as well. You know what I mean? Like if you're still poor online, it's not as good. You know what I mean? Like. Hang on while I jump onto like World of Warcraft and still be a poor person. Like that's not enjoyable, is it?
All the good stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
you go from being jealous of everyone's clothes at school to being jealous of Abdi's skins on the game.
Avatar, like that's messed up. Like that's actually one of the best things I've seen online was avatars that's just dressing up for boys. I was like, that's really good because you sit there and you go, I'm going to make my character look like this, and like I'm going to give him a scar on his face because he looks cool. You know what I mean?
I don't ever do the customization of a character.
Do you not?
Never.
Mate, I'll sit on Skyrim and spend an hour and a half making a dude.
Yeah, mate.
And then not play the game.
If there's an opportunity to make somebody, I'm making them, mate.
Yeah.
That's one of the best parts about the UFC game, is trying to make the guy look as close to you as you possible, because when you're playing you're like, this is me.
Yeah, you put your name on it.
I used to do that on FIFA, like when you created your pro in FIFA, maybe for like 3 FIFAs in a row, you would create a pro and tried to make it look like me, but I would never actually try and make it look like me. I'd probably put a hairstyle on that was like me.
No, it was like me, but musclier and more.
Yeah, mine were always more hench than me. That was tattoos and fit. That was
I've never been a good like character creator like that. I never do that. I just go straight into the game and use a better character.
Skyrim, hour and a half. I'll sink a full hour and a half into making a dude.
I've never played a game like Skyrim.
Skyrim's amazing. Role playing games are the absolute. I'm a total nerd, but role playing games are the place to be.
Yeah, I like Skyrim.
Yeah, give me fighting dragons any day. I'm down for that. Like.
Yeah, that's why I like Elden Ring. Elden Ring was really good. In the day and age that we're in, it was nice to get a game that you can just run through by yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It was fucking hard.
Yeah, but
it was fucking hard. But you didn't have to rely on someone being a dickhead.
Yeah, you couldn't buy your way to the top either.
No, exactly. Yeah, you couldn't just go and like buy packs and do this. You had to actually just raw play the game.
Yeah,
that was good. But then again, that's not that. You know what I mean? That wasn't EA or anything like that. You know what I mean? Who was it that made it?
Is it from something? Oh, shit. Can't remember. Yeah, can't remember. I'm gonna have. It was a bit of a punt, but it'd be so wrong. I can't remember. Like,
hell yeah. That was a slamming game though.
See, I roleplay like that's why I'd play D&D. Like I would have a game D&D.
Yeah,
like,
we need to do that at some point.
But are they self-conscious?
I've got the Dungeons and Dragons starter box thing to play it.
Your problem's the same as mine. Like I'll not sit there and go, I am a dwarf king and I swing my sword to do it. Like because as much as I enjoy
Dungeon Master goes, you've come up to the gates. There's 2 dragons at either side. That you know what I mean. You've got to pick which one to fight first. What do you do?
Are we talking right? We're talking about.
I draw my 2-handed longsword.
Avast, ye bastard! That's fucking. Yeah.
I say, Mon ye dragon, and
I'm a pirate now.
Rolls 14 or more to deal a damaging blow.
And the thing is, I would enjoy that, but I would hear myself say it, and then I should be bullying myself right now. That would be the. You know what I mean? Like somebody should be in the background going ha 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 ha. You know what I mean? Like it's so.
I will be virgin.
Yeah, how dare you enjoy something? That's
To be fair though, I would enjoy a game of D&D as well.
I think it would be great.
Do you think that's to do with how we grew up though? Do you think that's to do with school and that? Like, because anybody that was interested, if you were interested in anything, you were fair game. Like, haha, he's trying it thing. that was the go-to.
Yeah,
like, I had my black belt in jiu-jitsu, and folk used to take the piss out of me and like scream karate noises at me, and these same people all now watch UFC. Like, it's amazing. Like, oh, this is so. Look at these guys doing this. It's so cool. But you're the guys that laughed at me. I'm not better. I'm not better.
I can imagine the kids going,
"Hi-ya!" Yeah, they did. Every time I walk past,
ninja man.
Yeah, cool. 9 years of my life to get you making noises at me in the street. You know what I mean? Like,
that's just self-confidence right back down.
90 years of training mixed martial arts to get bullied.
Yeah, just to get the piss taken out of me.
Never be touched.
Yeah, and then, 10 years later, Abdi's doing it. That's the worst bit.
Physically defend myself. I'm mentally defending the trauma.
Jesus.
Now all the people that did that are fucking blue belts and giving it on Facebook. Like, oh, I'm so glad I got into this. Like,
is that a personal dig at me? Because I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
blue
the better
one.
Sorry,
yeah, the new one.
The new one. The new one. Fuck off.
It's the New Testament.
It's actually, I think it's called.
Do you not watch
Judo
any
2.0?
Nah, I'm too good at that to be watching.
I'm too good at that.
I know what I'm doing too much to watch these guys fumble about. You know what I mean? Right. No, I do when I'm around at yours now, but. Watching sports makes me feel unhealthy, man. Like I get out of breath watching.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Watching sports makes me feel unhealthy.
Watching these guys like do these fights in a hand for like 5 minutes a round for like and however many rounds.
15
or
are you just thinking
minutes.
the whole time I couldn't do that?
No, yeah, man. It's like no, the people are awesome videos. The video should be called "Feel Terrible About Yourself." Watch this guy
look
do
how shit you are.
Pointing a triple backflip on a snowboard. I can't get out of my fucking chair. Like, that's not fair, is it?
You don't need to compare yourself. You're okay, man.
You're supposed to be the emotional support when it's only you versus you, man. It's
yeah. Sorry. Believe in yourself. You've got to laugh.
You spend so much time cleaning up outside, you need to clean up inside,
guy. Start inside. That doesn't sound good.
Start inside.
That's a weird.
Look inside
weird
first.
I'll take that.
No, we're not segueing off of that.
It's like Family Guy. You seen Chris on Family Guy. He makes a joke. He's like, "Oh, I didn't fit in. The room's only 10 by 10." He's like, "Ha ha ha! If I didn't laugh at myself, I'd be dead." That's fucking. For fuck's sake.
If I didn't laugh at myself, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Everything can be explained by a good Family Guy.
Oh, you've got to have a fucking laugh at
that.
I like it.
What do you do?
I laughed so much that I've started like tearing in my eye. I forgot what we were even talking about now, honestly.
What were we talking about before that?
I don't remember. Movies.
Lord
Lord
of
of
the
the Rings.
No, you were talking about games and that.
You were
Elden
talking about how
Rings
you
and
just can't just play games anymore. We're on about Elden Ring, stuff like that, like old games like that. And
there's a lot of things you can't just do now. You know, I mean, it used to be just sit down and watch some TV. Like it was totally cool. Now,
I'm not joking, right? I sat down and watched 10 seasons of The Walking Dead on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I binge stuff, man. I can't just watch anything anymore, man. Like,
I have to watch it all. And now that I got to the end of the 10th season, the end of the series isn't even on there. it's on Disney Plus, and then I've had to
got to move over.
I've had to go and get Disney Plus, and there's only one season on Disney Plus, so I need to go find the other 2 seasons. I think there's 13 seasons, isn't there?
Is that a treasure hunt?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to watch TV? You're gonna have to work for it.
It's ridiculous, man.
You need £45 worth of TV subscriptions before you can watch it.
No, right, no, because if you just stop all these subscriptions, you can buy a house. Don't worry about it. If you get rid of Netflix, you'll have a house.
A few less Starbucks and avocado, and you'd be fine.
All got the same 24 hours.
Oh, just doing.
Maybe if you just tried just not being poor.
Yeah. Have you ever just asked your dad for money? Like,
it's ridiculous, isn't it? What a way of looking life.
Nah, do you know what? I know that I have some privileges in life. Like I say, like we were talking about, like I can walk around the street at 3 o'clock in the morning in the dark and not be concerned. Like I understand that's a privilege, but at the same time, like I've met privileged people. Like I met a dude that had the Bugatti Veyron Super Sport things. You know, like 1 of 8, like £1.9 million car or something like that. He pulled up at Vardy's, and I was like, "Oh, it's a really nice car." And he's like, "Yeah, it's all right." £2 million car. What do you mean that's all right? Like, don't be a dick. It's just,
I won't make that in my life.
Yeah, wild, absolutely wild. I can't imagine being that like blasé about money. I mean, it blows my mind.
You must just have it from the get go.
It's maybe a thing because even like as someone that doesn't have money, like I've like. Well, you know what I'm like I don't really give much value to it, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't like treat it as very much like a something really
I have no idea.
Like,
Me and you swap money. Like,
I don't concern myself. I'd be like, I better keep it and save lots of it. You know what I mean? Like, I hate the whole concept of it, and I feel like if I was rich, I'd be the same. Yeah. I would still blast it, and you would be the same. You'd have the car, and you'd be like, yeah, it's all right, but it's just a fucking like physical item. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, yeah, it's kind of, but like it would be the same with the money. You just have more money.
But the thing is, when you're coming up to people who don't have money and they're going, wow, an amazing car, and you're just going, yeah, it's all right.
But you've got to
think
that's
an experience for the person that's seeing it. So if I'm rich, I'm thinking this guy's not seen a car like this before.
Mm-hmm. It depends though, because if his life, the only time he's spent around people of the class below is when he's coming to get his new fancy car, the rest of the time he's spent around everyone else that's just the same level. So it's
a normal to people how you would like to be spoken to, man.
Mm-hmm. When you get rich, it doesn't work.
But
like
did
that,
you not say that guy was all right?
That's the rule for everybody.
Did you not say that guy was nice enough?
He was actually quite sound.
That's what I mean. Like if you've been a dickhead, different story. But you said that was like generally he was all right. I mean, you've had guys that have come and be a dickhead. Like that was that a footballer guy?
There was one or two. There was working at Vardy's. So it was Peter Vardy's in Aberdeen, like the Land Rover garage.
Yeah.
I was like 20 and I got that job. So I got a job at Range Rover selling cars, like 20 years old, and honestly it was like my dream job. It was like, this is amazing. I can't wait. And it's the fucking worst job ever in my life. But no, I went and did it, and you would get occasionally. There was one boy walked in, and his car was parked across like 2 lanes in the customer car park. And he pulled in this like Ferrari and like got out and he thinks his dog's bollocks. And I was like, look, you're going to have to move your car. And he's like, why? I was like, well, because you're over 2 spaces and we need the spaces for customers. And he's like, the car's worth 130 grand. I was like, you're parked in front of 2 cars that cost more than that. Like, he was sitting in front of cars that cost more than that. That was what we were selling. Like, knowing what was in the house. And he was like, oh yeah, it's 130 grand. I was like, mate, that's not big here. Like, you can't turn up here in big time, MD. Because somebody will spend £200,000 on a car. You can't rock up and be like, oh, that's 130 grand. Like, so cool, move it. You know what I mean? Like, and it, like, surely that's all right. Get to speak to these people, but
you should have really just in the minute you went, that's 130 grand. You should have gone, that's cute.
Yeah, I know, nice. Yeah, could you move it away from the good cars then, please? You know what I mean?
Like, could you park it around the back then? It's kind of ruining the view.
Yeah, could you get out of the road? Yeah. But I remember there was one boy come in.
You should have just went, don't move it. I don't want the poor to rub off and rub off on the others.
Yeah. Don't want to put it near the good cars.
Yeah, just leave it with it.
Yeah, just leave it with it.
Yeah. Only 130. Are you sure you shouldn't be in the Vauxhall garage down the road?
No, yeah, sorry, John Clark's over that way. Like, that's But no, I remember a boy coming in and the first thing he said to me was, don't give me the sales power. I make more than you make in a year, in a day. I walked straight back into my manager. I was like, this boy's an absolute knob, by the way. And I told him, he's like, well, just go out and see what like. And I went back out and the boy was just downright abusive. Like, he was just nasty. Nah. And my manager overheard it. And the manager came out and he just went to the boy, leave. And he went, excuse me? He's like, get the fuck out. He's like, you're not speaking to my staff like that. And And the boy's like, I'm here to buy a car. No, you're not. Get out. And this is a Range Rover dealership. The boy's like, just get out. Like, away you go. And the boy was absolutely flabbergasted. He just didn't expect it. He sent Peter Vardy an email and everything. Like, I've been kicked out of your dealership. And Peter was like, well, you came in, you abused one of our members of staff. So, like, that's what you get. Like, but I watched my manager tell the boy to get out. And this was obviously a dude that thought he could come in and swing his money about. And it was hilarious.
It's funny because, like, someone like that thinks of the big fish. It's like, you have no idea how much more there is above you. You know what I mean? It's like, you might make a little more than me, and you might think that you're well off, but you have no idea the level of rich we get in here. You know what I mean? In a shop like that, in an Aberdeen Range Rover. You know what I mean? Like,
it was the farmers. They used to turn up and order for 15 Defenders, please. You know, sorry, I'm here to order 15 Defenders, 55 grand a piece. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, that happened, man. Like, it was an agricultural, like, there was an agricultural sales, like, division, and he would get sales of, like, 15, 20 units. £500 a bonnet bonus too. So £500 a bonnet in commission.
Until like how many on like 20 of them?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Commission was wild. I've never been making more money in my life. I was.
What is that? What is the maths on that? I forgot the numbers you said.
What, 500?
What did you say? £500 and there's 20 of them.
I mean, 15 or 20 cars.
Like 10 grand.
Like, you know what I mean? Oh mate, the salesmen were taking home silly money. I mean, like I said, it was selling cars, wild. £500 a car. Like, it was
probably cost so much. Huh?
just in fucking bonus that month.
But that was a horrible job. Was disgusting. Yeah, I remember a family coming in. This like younger family come in with a budget like 35 grand, and I got them into like a £55,000 fucking Evoque, and they drove away in it. I was like, there's no way you can afford that. No way. And the minute they drove away, I was like, I feel fucking terrible. And they come back like 6 months later and hand the car back, but they lost loads of money. The fuck do you do about it? You know what I mean? Like, it was your job. And genuinely, I think about 2 weeks after that, I was out. And I went back to sales. Every time, it's funny. I went sales, then I went back to being a labourer, then I went to sales, then I went back to being a labourer, and I've kept doing that since I was like 17.
See, as a car salesman, do you ever, like, how regular is it you have a scenario where you sell someone a car and you're like, I've actually done them a good deal, like they've gotten a good car out of this at a good price? Do you think it ever happens?
Very, very, very rarely. Nah, yeah? Very, very rarely. Yeah, man, like, the markups are nuts. We had like 7 grand to play with. Folk would come in and be like, oh, would you take £1,000 off? Let me go and ask my manager.
But have you worked at any garages that are like smaller?
No, because it was only Vardy's.
Was it just that? Yeah, okay, fair.
I don't. That's what I mean. Like, I don't.
Because I know when Fitz worked at the one in that car store, obviously they work differently because it's not such a because it's small margins between the cars. It's
car salesmen or car salesmen.
They sell they rather than selling like decent cars, they've got to just try and sell as many as possible to get the commission. If you know what I mean. Right, so
yeah.
I think the problem is working in sales. You get to see what a lot of salespeople are like, and there's a difference between sales and retail. Retail is a totally different beast. Like, people in retail are generally a lot like more honest.
Yeah.
Folk in sales is totally different because you need the paycheck. Like, it depends on how much money you take.
It'd be hard to deal with, like, knowing that like you're going through it every day, and every single time you're like rob them. Like, you're never giving someone an actual good deal for the money. Like, I don't think you would enjoy not like having nobody leave and being like, yes, like I've done something good for them. Like, I've helped them out. They've come in like that. Was
same when I worked for BT. You would get old women phoning BT, and I'd be like, look, I'm telling you, your bill is £90 odd a month, and all you've got is a landline. Like, you're being done. You know what I mean? Like. And then, oh, well, I don't know, because somebody sold me this, and that's what you're incentivized to do, is to sell them more and more and more and more.
And is there anything you can do to reduce the thingy?
So you get what's called retention teams. So retention teams are people that are specifically employed with extra discounts that you can give people that basically ask. But you get folk going, oh, I've been with you for 20 years, where's my, you want to get none? It's just unfortunate for you. And every so often they'll go, oh, we'll put you through to retentions, and you'll get like 5-10% off. But it happens that rarely that it's pointless. And I mean, there was more than a couple of customers I told the best thing to do was just stop. Just don't pay it. Just stop answering the bills.
That's why you never keep a job.
I know, and it's 100%. It's why I walk.
Keeps going back.
Gets fed up, and then just like, no, do you know what? No, I don't want to rob you of your money.
Just telling people how to get out of it. You know what I mean? Like, there was so at one point, right.
You help me get out my BT.
I know, I fucking love this. I absolutely love this. So, there's a particular place in England. Oh my god, I'll need to remember the exact name of it.
It's Hull.
Is it just Hull?
It's Hull.
Right, no, you're right. It's Hull. So in Hull, right, the phone networks are all owned by Hull, basically City Council.
Internet as well, like all their Wi-Fi and everything.
So it's not owned by BT, Vodafone, blah blah blah. So nobody else. I mean, I know this to be true a while ago. It might not be true.
Yeah, anymore. This is how I got out of this is how I got out of my BT contract, and a massive bill that they were expecting me to pay out.
Anytime you like. No cancellations.
It was done.
Anytime you like.
Didn't have to pay the bill. I was cancelled on that day.
Honestly, it was amazing. He didn't believe me until he phoned us. So Hull do obviously their own internet, right?
Yeah.
And there's a clause written into broadband, and it has to be written into broadband in the UK, that if they can't provide you service, you have no obligation to continue the contract. So you just tell them you're moving to Hull. So Kerry just told me he was moving to Hull, and they don't check. It's not like
well, they were like, "What's the address?" So I just went on to one of the websites and found a house that was for sale, and was like, "There, that's where I'm moving to."
That's my postcode.
And he was like, "Oh," because at first this guy didn't know either that I was on the phone to. He didn't realize it was the thing, and he was like,
"It took like 20 minutes. And then you go and ask."
I can't like find out what your network speed or anything. Like I can't find out how we would connect you. I need to go get a manager. It took ages. The manager was eventually just like, I actually heard them speaking, and then he came back and he was like, "My manager says we just can't give you internet there, so we're just gonna have to cancel your contract. Like we'll sort everything out in an hour." And I was like, "Spot on, quality."
Cheers, bye.
That was it, done.
Yeah, done. Man, I learned that when I was at BT. When I found out I was getting when I found out I was going to leave, I told everybody. I mean everybody. Like I spent most.
You got a bill you can't pay.
Yeah, damn straight, man. Yeah, damn straight. People are like, "Oh, I'm stuck in my contract. I can't leave." And this little old woman like, "Oh, cool. Just tell me you're moving to Hull." What? Tell me you're moving to Hull. Trust me. Do it. I mean, fuck it. What were they going to do? Sack me? You know what I mean? I don't want to be there.
That's what they did.
Exactly. I don't want to be there anyway. What difference did it make? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Nah, these companies
just reached a point and went, "Nah, I'm going off the cliff. It's taking you away."
Leaving them taking everything.
Yeah,
that's class.
Yeah, I'll expose you. It's. I mean, if they're going to do horrible things to people, man, like I watched a lot of like horrible things done to people in the name of like money and stuff. So. If I can help a few people, then
doing a lot of good now. Yeah. It does explain a lot to why you've moved on to doing a lot better things.
It's hard, man, because
you're realigning your karma. That's what you're doing. You're balancing yourself.
It's mad because I'm not really spiritual. Like I'm not like.
No,
I come off that way. I think.
I mean, neither. But some things just I feel like are like there's a balance in life. Like there just is. You know what I mean? You've got to. You can't be a prick all the time and expect that life's going to be good to you. You know what I mean? Like you have to balance it. That's just how things.
Yeah, you get
manifesting good and bad and such.
But I'm certainly not religious. And I'm not like particularly
you like rocks.
And things. I like rocks. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think they do anything. That's, I mean, it's hard because like obviously like my sister, like Becky, she's into crystals and things, and she thinks they do all this mad stuff, but I just can't get my head around it. Hey, like it's the same as people going about certain things in like the woods and stuff, and like the fae and stuff like this. And I would straight up love to believe any of it. I really would. Like
what, like fairy tales and stuff?
Yeah, man. I swear, like I'm really jealous of people that have faith in things like that.
Yeah.
I really am, and I've tried convincing myself, and it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like you can't
charging your rock.
Yeah, you can't just be. It works. You know what I mean? Like
you just need to believe it. You don't, innit?
Yeah, and it's rough because I'm just too. I think critically. You know what I mean? Like I can't just take things at face value. I'm really like skeptical. You know what I mean?
You rather than thinking about like all the parts of it that make sense, it's too hard to get like hooked up on like, but it doesn't make sense because of this. Rather than be like, oh, that sounds good, but that bit doesn't make sense.
And it's rough. But and I don't grudge anybody that. I think it's great. I love it, and I try. I mean, you look at my page. I try and give people some of that. You know, I mean, I put up fairy doors and stuff, and I genuinely enjoy that. Like putting out like making the fairy doors and like putting them on the trees and stuff like that. Like I genuinely enjoy that because people come past and they'll go, "Oh, it's a little bit of magic." You know what I mean? Like even though I don't believe in it, like
families as well. Like families take their kids out to go for a walk to find the fairy doors and things like that. You know what I mean? And that's like nice. Like it's given like that's memories for families. Yeah, like that's memories you remember when you're older. So
I know that, like, I don't believe in
cherish.
quote unquote fucking
exactly.
Magic,
it's nice to do that.
Yeah, man. Nah, and life's fucking miserable at times, man. You've got to make folk happy, you know what I mean? Like, a little bit of magic's not a bad thing, you know what I mean? And even if I don't believe in it, that's why I've got, like, a crystal on top of my staff and stuff. Like, I enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It helps as well because you get to see first-hand reaction with having Maya. Like, you get to take her to see the fairy doors and she loves it. So you get, like, instant, like, that's, like, adorable sort of thing. Like, that's nice what I've done.
But I spend my life trying to make life, like, magic for her. Like, everything's magic. Like, everything, I'll just... Everything's like that. And I want it to be like that for as long as possible.
That's lovely.
That's what I mean. I think that's what
father is the magical forest wizard.
Yeah. And like, it's fucking kids should believe in fairies and wizards and unicorns.
She's going to think Lord of the Rings is about your life.
It's funny. I used to tell her.
You should start telling her that your job is protecting the forests,
mate.
So that's what she tells people at school. What do your dad do for a job? My dad protects the forest.
Maya is hilarious. Maya now, like, she turns the lights off. And she'll walk around, she'll turn the lights off in the house, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm helping the earth. And I'm like, oh, it sounds like I'm making that up. You know, you get parents like, oh, so my son said today, you know what I mean? Like,
said, don't you think it's such an existential crisis?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I bet he did, Sandra. I bet.
Yeah, one of the, but it's, obviously these things rub off on kids. And when they're like that age, they get, like, they soak it up. And Maya picks up bits of rubbish off the ground. Like, she just walks around, just pick it. She got her nursery class out doing it. She asked the nursery teacher, could they go into the woods and pick up rubbish? And the nursery teacher said yes and took out the whole class. Nice. So they all went, and that's because she asked. Like, I think that's hilarious. She's like 3.5 years old. You know
that's
what I mean?
amazing.
I think that's absolutely hilarious. Like,
she is a belter though.
She's so funny, man. She's so funny. She's really clever. Like, it's tough because she's switched on. Like, she goes on about. So we let her watch like kind of cartoons, but educational ones and things, like the decent, like not just like Peppa Pig and which I can't stand.
It's funny.
She does watch.
We had this conversation last night.
And Peppa Pig,
man. Yeah, man. She's got an attitude problem. Man.
That's what he said, man.
She's got an attitude problem. That's 100%.
She's a fucking asshole.
She is, man. She is. She's rude as fuck. Bluey is amazing.
This is what Dale said.
Did he really?
Mate, he loves Bluey.
Bluey's amazing.
Bluey is fantastic. Bluey is
the dogs and Bluey's
the
little dog, the blue dog.
The Australian, yeah, man. It's so good,
right, okay.
so good. The dad's like reading a story, and he's reading a story. He's like, and then Cinderella, and then a bunch of stuff happens because it's really late, and then it's, and I'm sitting there like laughing. It's amazing. This is fantastic.
And a bunch of stuff happens.
Honestly, it's super funny. But she watches like. She turned around and she's like, Dad, she's like, did you know? I was like, what? I was like, your heart is the size of your fist. I was like, is it? I was like, I'll go and Google that then. And she's right enough. Like, this is a thing she's picked up. But she goes on about, like, veins and things. And she knows, like, what her veins are and, like, what lungs are and what they do. And, like, she watches all these, like, mad, like, doctors' programs. And some of them are really, like advanced. Like, things about space and stuff that I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, and me and Jodie are sitting watching her, like, yeah, I've just learnt something. Like, this is nuts. Like, but the more that you give them that, the more they're going to have to equip them in the future, you know what I mean?
Of course.
I feel like you always, like, when you think about having kids, you always try and be like, oh, like, I'll not let them have too much time on the TV and I'll not let them do this. But there actually is, like, getting to the point where there's ways of allowing it, that when you are on it, they can be doing some really educational 100%. Stuff on it, and they can learn a lot of stuff 100%. Off it actually being allowed to have their time
as
on it.
Much from that as she does. And because we monitor it, you can see what they're learning, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you can watch it.
And you do have to hear. You do have to be careful.
You can, of course.
People put up messed up versions of the videos to fuck off, and I've seen a few, like Peppa Pig, and it's like she's got like vampire teeth and shit, and then it cuts to like a negative image and flashing images, and some folk are really bad, man. Like that's doing that to kids, you know what I mean? And if you don't spot it, they're sitting watching the tablet by themselves or whatever, like. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty nuts.
Crazy. That's
pretty nuts, man. It was really messed up.
It was in the news for a while because obviously YouTube has like a kids version.
Yeah.
But they'd managed to get the videos onto that, so it was actually coming up on the kids version.
There is.
Because you only have to get past the 30-second wall.
Yeah.
You have to wait 30 seconds of the actual content, and then after that, they don't check.
That's wild, man.
It's savage. Like that would fucking traumatize me seeing that. Never mind a kid.
You think about the stuff that we see, and I don't know about you, but you remember LimeWire?
Yeah.
Mate, you think it was stuff that got passed around school?
Stevie just remembers, like, Steve was in the friends group and maybe had to, not really
name
call him, well, like, there you go. He was all we needed for the really traumatic stuff.
He's not going to deny being dark, you know.
No, yeah, you're right. He was all I needed to have a real disturbing knowledge.
We had a couple of guys like
Brandon.
That.
Yeah, Brandon, yeah.
Brandon it was always the videos were like lively.
No regrets, like, but it's like people like our parents and the generations before them. They never seen that kind of stuff.
I explained that to my granddad. Like, I've seen things that only soldiers would have seen at one point. You know what I mean?
You can see it's only a video as well, but like still, like just knowing, like being able to physically have a like sight of that, and even just as a recording and seeing things
what that
like
looks
that
like.
we've seen, like that's things that people shouldn't see.
No,
you know what I mean? And it's like.
But
all people our age were exposed to that. Yeah, all of our generation seen all that kind of stuff, and they did, which is something that's not been before. No wonder Abdi's all messed up.
Everybody's all anxious. No. You're joking. Seeing war crimes by the time I was 12. You know? It's like, what do you expect,
you
man?
laugh, but that's true, man. That's legit happened.
Some stuff, man. It is.
Yeah, it's fine.
And no counselling or nothing. When anybody sees like horrible stuff, like if the police were to see a hostage video or something like that going horribly wrong, they would get counselling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in like war, if you were to see these things, you would get like somebody would speak to you about it. You know, when you're 12 years old and you see this video and you're in a bunch of people, you go, that's really cool.
That's crazy.
And then go home and like shake. You know what I mean? Like, that's just
wonder why you're now 25. And
show me that again, please. You know what I mean? that's not.
I want to fit in.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like me. Yeah, it is though, and so much of your behaviour is driven by that.
Of course it is,
yeah,
though.
Like,
of course, everyone wants to be liked and accepted, man. Of course.
It is. And it is. It's wild.
It takes a while to get past that as well.
But that's what makes being a parent now really weird. Like
hard, yeah.
Like, I've no idea what the future looks like. Fuck, I mean, you think the way things are now, you know what I mean? Like, never mind, like, I mean, the thing is, I mean, I'm 32, so 32 years' time. I remember tapes. Now we're on robots, like, we're worrying about AI, you know what I mean? Like, we were on cassette tapes 30 years ago, yeah. I mean, I used floppy disks.
Yeah,
I used
that's what we
disks.
had.
And now we're worried about AI taking over the planet, and Boston Dynamics are building robots that can front flip. Like,
can I tell you for a fact that they say
they've used that AI, by the way. Sorry to say, but they've taken those dogs and they've built Chat GPT into it, so the dog now just replies to all their commands. All of the commands. They just instruct it what to do and it does it.
The dogs. Well,
yeah, robot dog thinks it's savage.
That's mental.
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luthor was saying in 5 years that we'll be able to cure blindness by putting AI into people's eyes. In 50 years, you'll be able to upload your consciousness to an AI, he said. In 50 years, you'll be able to upload
I'm
your
hoping I live that long, to 78. That's what I need to get to.
Oh, good.
My mind will be crippled by
I'll be 82 and I'm lucky I've got this far. Like,
he said within 50 years, so it could be sooner as well.
See this whole like digital eyes thing? Man. Everything's hackable. Imagine somebody hack can eyes. How do you get away from that?
Yeah, but if you're dying, you've got no other option, man. You know what I mean? Upload to consciousness. Or you're dying.
Have you ever seen that Upload? The program, the series. I started watching some. It's really good. It's on that premise. The boy's dying, so they upload him to this like online world, and he lives on this online world. That's what heaven is for everybody, and it's actually really good.
That would be sick as fuck.
It's really entertaining, mate.
That was a great idea.
It's really entertaining, man.
Have
it's
an
on
AI heaven where you go and meet.
It's on Prime. It's on Prime.
Oh, and if your consciousness
was
on a computer and it wasn't like biological, like in a brain, like it wouldn't degrade, so your mental health wouldn't degrade. Like you wouldn't start like.
Oh yeah, there's one of them. There's one of them.
You could go and hang out with. Oh my god.
Everybody you've ever known.
Oh mate.
God.
Oh mate. Well, that's the idea. So their whole family goes.
But how
so,
do you not get in? How do you in that AI world? There must be bad people in there too, or do like criminals not get into the heaven?
No, because you get like uploaded. This is you get like uploaded.
But so it'll be a money thing. All the rich people will be on.
Oh yeah, it is, and they make that clear. There's class systems. Like you can get into the cheap one or the good one. Like the cheap one, the frame rate's terrible. You get like 10 frames per second and shit. Like, it really is. Like folks like butlers are glitching across the room and shit, or you go to the expensive one and everything's really nice. Like,
you put your hand out to grab the glasses, so did you drop to the floor?
Yeah, it disappears.
just because
you're cut. There's one of the episodes that the servers go down and everybody turns into Minecraft characters because it's on like reserve mode.
What movie is it?
Upload. It's on Prime.
Oh, I have to watch that. That sounds good.
That's good.
I actually like that premise of getting uploaded and creating a heaven.
That sounds fucking awesome.
That sounds like sounds like something.
That's worth watching. It's really entertaining.
Well, I'm debating getting a fucking PlayStation so we can get VR because that's as close as I'm going to get right now.
Dying for VR.
VR will be mad. They're having pure mad sword fights and shit.
Imagine like just having this whole room as your VR. Like,
have you seen the thing that people have?
Ready Player One.
They can walk and they walk and they can walk while they're fucking shooting on the game.
Have you seen Ready Player One?
Yeah,
so good. One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies.
I watched it 3 times in a row.
I don't blame you.
God,
I don't blame you.
Don't
blame you. Sorry.
I watched it. Right, I watched it by myself, and then my ex-girlfriend came home. We sat, and I was like, "You gotta watch this."
This is amazing.
I sat down, watched it again. She fell asleep. She woke halfway through. She woke up. I was like, "We're watching it again." So we watched it again.
It's such a good movie. It would be amazing, like, because they've got like the full suit, so you can like, if someone's fighting you can feel it. If you're fucking, man,
that's so good. That would be
it's mad. Do you know what? Do you know what the problem is? It's mad how quickly technology becomes pervy. It's fucking bodysuits and stuff. Like, let's be honest, man. You know people like, you know what's gonna happen there, like. Depravity. Every time the internet does anything, exactly.
The first thing you do when you come up against somebody is kick them square in the nuts.
That's
the first thing you do, man.
There is. It's just
you say square in the nuts.
How does that feel? You know,
you like that?
Realistic, just like real.
It looks like real life.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like real blood. Oh my god. It's just.
Now we really can't have kids.
Yeah. Oh. Nah, Ready Player One, being able to create your avatar is the thing though, like. Because you would be some huge, big, swole, homoerotic, fucking 300 kind of dude, you know, like, big glistening abs,
It would be
glistening abs,
like
fucking
He-Man, absolute He-Man.
To be fair,
leather,
The power.
I'm not a gimp.
Hulk smash it back open.
A white Hulk wearing latex.
Oh, that's so rough.
I would have like I was actually to like my I sent you my character on Hogwarts. That's what it would be like. He looked sick. He had like a trench coat and this like bandage.
He looked a bit 1940s Germany, if I'm honest, Steve.
It was a crooked walk away from being a full blown.
Yeah, that was a rough character. That. Nah, it was
because he had a fucking cowboy hat on and he's talking about like he's from the Third Reich. Brown leather jacket and a cowboy hat.
Oh, let's swerve off of this. Oh no, this is not a topic. Let's not start on that.
Oh, we probably could go for there. Actually, we could end it there.
Yeah,
it's been a long one actually.
Oh, pardon.
But we'll have to get you to come back on again.
Yeah, mate.
It's been a good laugh.
That was good.
No, I'm down for that. No, great laugh. No, thank you very much for having me on. It's tears in my eyes now.
That was good.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us again on the TheStankCast. This is episode 10, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Right, peace. Sure.